Okay, back for another video. So this one's about being good, and like how a lot of people have a negative pathology to things, and how we need to work on building a positive pathology for people to learn from instead of. So basically, what I say is people a lot of times say stop this, don't do that. It will cause this, or it will complicate that, or you know, don't bad, stop, negative, you know, not good, do something else, right? They don't have what else you're supposed to do. They don't have the good thing that you're supposed to do. They just have the stop negative attitude pathology, right? So what we need is a positive version of this where you do this or you do that because it leads to this or because it opens the door to that. And then you know you want to put forth a positive direction where like this opens the door to, or this leads to, you know love, and something about love leads to working together and teamwork and positive communities. And like you write this tree of how you open the doors to all these positive things that you need to do, the this and that of the positive things that you're supposed to do, the good that you're supposed to do. And um, you learn that instead of you know tweaking things and cutting out the negative of things. You learn the positives that you need as well, right? So you don't just get lost. What I have is like seeing good things. Oh, like being positive leads to seeing good things, that opens the door to opportunities you don't get when you're negative. So by being positive, you start to see good things around you. Start to see the positive things around you, and this opens doors to opportunities that you don't even see when you're being negative. So that's like a real one. So back into the invention. So one of the things that I forgot to tell you is breaking down the computer down to its origin of all of its original components, and building up simple computers that people can understand and see what's happening. Basically, you want to see where the electricity goes. You want to see like the simplest computer in its functionality state with all the components in their most primitive state that we have. And you want to be able to insert new components in a primitive state, primitive new components into this computer architecture. So this is why you do this, is break it down to its easy fundamentals, so you can come up with an easy technology that isn't evolved yet, because you can't evolve a technology, right? You have to come up with a fundamental technology first, and then it evolves, right? So, but this way you can insert the fundamental technology into the fundamental architecture. So that's why I break down the computer parts, and I have the evolution of everything, the evolution of every invention, the evolution of every scientific theory, to the evolution of so the evolution of all the computer components, like where they came from, how they work. Like a lot of computers came from a bean counter rationality, and that's how the switches on the circuit board work, is like a bean counter rationality. If you understand how a bean counter works, you'll understand how the switches work a lot better. So like, where do these come from, and where are they going, and where are they going in the future, and how what's the best state they are in today, what's the different states that we see them in today, what's the best state they are in today, where they're going in the future. So like the actual evolution of the components and breaking down the components is one of the things I do, so you can make your own personal, so you can invent your own computer that you built everything, you invented everything. You know what I mean? You invented all the core components. It's your version of everything. It's your own little computer that works. It just needs to be evolved. So there's that. And then I could get into automatic logging. So automatic logging is, I saw a logging show where they drive the truck, jump off the truck, cut the tree down, chain the tree, drag it through a debrancher, and then winch it onto the truck. So basically what I was saying, if they stayed in the truck, if they used a machine to chain the tree, so they spike the tree, they chain the tree, so they have the chain onto the tree already, and then they cut it off, and then they cut it down, then they'll have the chain on the tree, so they use another machine to cut it down. They never have to leave the truck. Then they can winch it through the debrancher, and they can winch it onto the truck without ever having to leave the truck. And you could even have an automatic truck pull up, chain trees and cut them down, and then winch them through the debrancher and winch them onto the truck. Like, so that was from a show that I saw a bunch of years ago, but I remember what I came up with there. And automatic kitchen. Automatic kitchen is an important one. First thing that I led to an automatic kitchen was a spice rack, was a spinning spice rack. So I just thought, like, if you put this over a wok, or like a stir fry maker or something like that, you just spin the spice rack and you drop ingredients into the wok, and you just spin the spice rack and drop and put different, you put like meat and peppers and all types of stuff in there, right? But so this leads to the automatic kitchen. What makes the automatic kitchen good is that it introduces robots into the household. Like, you might think that cleaning is the easiest way to introduce robots into the household, but automatic kitchen might be a little bit better. And plus there's a weird opening in the market, so to speak. What I'm thinking is, if you sold 1,000 kitchens at $100,000. So at first, $100,000 for a kitchen, it's not even that expensive. Like, for an elite group, for people, $100,000 of a kitchen, it's expensive, but some people even spend upwards of $100,000 on their kitchen already. So like $100,000 kitchen to 1,000 customers, you're talking about $100 million to invest into robots and kitchen robots. You know what I mean? So like, it's kind of like there's an opening to introduce robots into the household with automatic kitchen. So that's why I like automatic kitchen. And you know, I use like accessories. I use the best way to cut this, the best way to cut that. You know, my robot has a bunch of accessories and a bunch of different, it pulls out its arm, it's got a bunch of different hands, a bunch of different accessories that I use. That's the best for everything. You know, very commercial and kitchen, robotic kitchen. And that's why, and you can bring them down to like 25 grand, 15 grand or something, who knows, right? But like, after you have them built, right? After you have them designed and built. So so video database. The other thing is video database. So you see a lot of people have markers on the video. So one thing I want to do is transcribe all the video and the markers, but also have timelines where you can search the video database and you can pull up different points of different videos just to talk about that one subject that you're talking about at this point, or at that point, or at this point. So you can pull it up right onto the timeline, and everything's organized. And you know, adding tags to your searches, especially within the school and stuff, there's like, you can build up the structure to add, to tag, and to mark your stuff so it's easily found when somebody else is bringing up something similar. Using AI to recreate a video game, and using the second screen to check the results. So like, when I mentioned my AI, how it's a computer that programs itself, say that you were to take some computer code, video game code, and you're trying to permutate it to get some, and check the results of it. So you're trying to permutate different points of this code, different parts of this structure, and you're trying to find the best results of it. What you'd use is a second screen where you have a visual recognition, an AI, a machine learning screen that checks the results for you. And then you try to do this without using a second screen. You try to do this internally and try to do this at the highest frame rate that you can. So you're essentially like checking the second screen, but you're never actually printing it onto screen. You're just using the internalized version of that. So that's that one. So you try to improve the frequency rate, because improving the frequency rate on screens is hard. So there's, this is one quick one about the mafia in our house. By you guys letting there be a mafia in our house that isn't allowed to communicate to you, and you have to wait till it's on YouTube, you're letting these guys be like a higher end mafia than you, right? They gotta be the mafia in our house. That makes your guys' mafia like a second class mafia. And I was thinking, like, if you also count the MIB who run the dimensions and stuff, your mafia is actually like a third class mafia. And you're letting your peers be a higher class mafia to you with stupid rules that you have to follow. Like, I don't even know if you gotta listen to this, right? But if you do, this is what I was saying about it. So that's this video.